With the 17th round of Super Rugby matches now a thing of the past, it is time for us to work out which players shone over the past weekend. The Chiefs are well represented after their first half dismantling of the Highlanders with 4 players in the 15, while the Jaguares, Sunwolves, Brumbies and Sharks claim 2 places each. Super Rugby, team of round 17-15 Solomon Alaimalo, Chiefs, another impressive performance by the back 3 player, who was a constant threat in broken field and was a big reason as to why the Chiefs dominated the first half against the Highlanders. Scored a wonderful try to open the scoring on Saturday, scything through the opposition rearguard for an excellent individual effort, and also ran for 117 meters, with 3 clean breaks and a remarkable 10 defenders beaten. 14 Bautista Delgado, Jaguares, the wing is improving week by week in Super Rugby and produced his best performance of the campaign against the Stormers. His stats are similar to Alaimalo, having beaten 9 defenders and made 2 clean breaks, but Delgado ran for 133 meters in Buenos Aires. Lavoisier Vovo impressed for the Sharks as they came from behind to defeat the Lions, but Delgado was the standout at the weekend. 13 Anton Lienert-Brown, Chiefs, carried on his form for New Zealand by starring for the Chiefs. Everything was in good working order for Colin Cooper's men and the All Blacks centre linked play nicely. Lienert-Brown claimed 2 try assists, including a lovely offload for the first, while the 23-year-old also made 4 clean breaks and beat 6 defenders as he edged out the Waratahs' Curtis Rona. 12 Michael Little, Sunwolves. A lot of the Japanese side's best play this season has come through the New Zealander, and Saturday was no exception as the Sunwolves shocked the Bulls. There was plenty of competition for Little, with Rico Owain, Blues, Curdley Beale, Waratahs, and Andre Esterhuizen, Sharks, all impressing, but the 25-year-old scored 1 try, set up another and was constantly involved in the host's best moments. 3 clean breaks and 4 defenders also displayed how potent the centre was. 11 Andy Muirhead, Brumbies, Dan McKellar's men produced the shock of the round in overcoming the Hurricanes, and the wing epitomised the energy they played with. Muirhead was unfortunate not to score following a scintillating break, but it did not matter as the next passage of play saw the wing crossing the whitewash anyway. In total, he made 68 meters, which included 3 clean breaks and 4 defenders beaten. 10 Bernard Foley, Waratahs. This was a difficult selection with Robert Dupreez, Damian McKenzie and Hayden Parker all producing the goods for the Sharks, Chiefs and Sunwolves respectively, but we've gone for the TAH's man. Daryl Gibson's side were dominated in most facets against the Rebels in the second half, but when the visitors needed someone to step up, Foley delivered by intercepting a straight pass and going over for the winning score. He was also excellent in the first period, directing play nicely and showing his experience in the fly-half role, before the hosts' forwards began to control proceedings after the break. 9 Keisuke Uchida, Sunwolves, an absolute live wire for the Japanese team. Fly-half Parker may have claimed much of the credit for the Sunwolves' improvement, but Uchida gives them pace and energy from the base of the ruck. He scored the team's second try after latching onto Jabba Bregvadz's good work down the right and was a constant threat to the Bulls' rearguard. Elsewhere, Joe Paulo was excellent in the Brumbies' victory, but Uchida's impressive display sees him take the position. 8 Akira Owain, Blues. The older of the Owain brothers was back to his best in his side's victory against the Reds in Auckland. He did not cross the whitewash, but his efforts with ball in hand set up try-scoring opportunities for his teammates. Owain crossed the gain line at will and finished with 142 meters gained from 14 runs with 3 clean breaks, 9 defenders beaten, and he also managed an offload. Beats out Liam Messom and Amanaki Maffey, who impressed for the Chiefs and Rebels respectively. 7 Philip van der Walt, Sharks. The Sharks had to dig deep to claim their first victory over the Lions in 8 attempts, and van der Walt played a leading role as his side wiped out a 10-point halftime deficit to clinch the win, which also keeps their playoff hopes alive. Van der Walt was a willing ball carrier, but it is his defensive work which made the biggest impact as he made a game-high 24 tackles. Brumbies tearaway David Pocock also played well. Luke Jacobson, Chiefs. The Chiefs' first-half performance against the Highlanders in Suva was superb and Jacobson did his bit with an excellent individual showing. The 21-year-old played with a maturity beyond his years, especially on attack, where he gained 39 meters from 8 carries which included 2 clean breaks, 1 defender beaten, an offload and a deserved try. Also shown on defense with 12 tackles and comes in ahead of Jaguares captain Pablo Matera. 5 Matt Phillip Rebels. The young second row was at the forefront of the Rebels' forward effort against the Waratahs and, despite playing with the number 4 on his back, we had to find a place for him in our team. Phillip was superb on attack, gaining 96 meters from 20 runs with 5 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks and 4 offloads. Also won 3 line-out balls, and made 7 tackles. Tomas Lavanini of the Jaguares also impressed. For Guido Petty, Jaguares, the Pumas lock delivered a brilliant all-round performance and was arguably the best player on the field in the Jaguares' victory over the Stormers in Buenos Aires. Petty seemed to be everywhere on attack, eventually gained 111 meters from 7 carries with 6 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks and showed a superb turn of speed on his way over the try line. Also made a big impact in the lineouts, winning 6 balls, 2 of which were steals on the Stormers' throw-in, and did well on defense with 10 hits. Beats out Brumbies enforcer Rory Arnold. 3 Thomas du Toit, Sharks. The youngster continues to do well as the tight head prop and put in another solid shift in the Durban-based outfit's triumph over the Lions. The Springbok stood up well in the scrums and, although he made little headway with ball in hand, he certainly made up for it with a fine defensive effort and eventually made 16 tackles. Tufolau Faingas Brumbies. The 23-year-old was one of the standout performers in his side's win against the Hurricanes in Canberra. Faingas was impressive in most facets of play, but it was his attacking efforts which gets him into our team as he gained 63 meters from 12 runs which included 1 clean break, 2 defenders beaten, an offload and a try. Jabba Bregvads of the Sunwolves had a good game against the Bulls and Springbok stalwart Malcolm Marks of the Lions also looked good in his comeback from injury. 1 Carl 2 Anaku off Chiefs. The new All Black continues to impress and he was, once again, in fine form as the men from Hamilton beat the Highlanders in Suva. 2 Anaku off did his basics well but also caught the eye when running with the ball. Gained 20 meters on attack from 6 carries with 1 clean break, a defender beaten and was rewarded with a try for his efforts. Tom Robertson of the Waratahs was the next best.